isn't fantasy football, it's real competition. Welcome to the NFL Survivor Tournament. You versus the field. $100 to enter, $100,000 in total prizes, $50K to the winner. Start each week with a $100K bankroll. Pick games, win returns. Top 80% survive. Bottom 20%, you're out. Bankroll resets weekly, no carryover. 20 weeks, $100K. Will you take home the cash? Sign up, lock in, and let's see if you've got the guts to survive.
Maybe what the biggest headline is in terms of the Commonwealth is what happened to Virginia Tech in the second half against Vanderbilt. And watching the reaction of Virginia Tech fans, watching the reaction of the alumni, everything around that program, Virginia Tech needs to enter DEFCON 1 after what happened, specifically in the second half of Saturday's game. It was the home opener. It was sold out. It was an opportunity in prime time to avenge last season's season opening loss to Vanderbilt. And it started out well, 20-10 at the halftime break. And the vibes were cautiously high because, mind you, the Hokies have not won a Power 4 non-conference game since 2017. It had been, and now after the second half, still has been, far too long for a program that considers itself the flagship program in the state. It has been far too long to go without a Power 4 non-conference win. But the second half, a complete house of horrors inside of Lane Stadium. 23-20, Hokies down after the third quarter. Then 30-20, just 5 minutes into the fourth quarter. Then 37-20, 4 minutes later. And it ended up a 44-20 Vanderbilt win. The Hokies were outgained 307 yards to 21 in the second half. Yes, 307 to 2-1. Unacceptable. And if the Hokies had lost in a normal way, maybe a last-second field goal or, a competitive game throughout, similar to week 1 against South Carolina down in the ATL, I don't know if I would have these feelings, but this is how they lost. It was a disastrous loss. It was heartbreaking and one that could potentially ruin the program for years to come. This was once a proud program. I just try to imagine myself telling a Virginia Tech fan, telling Frank Beamer back in the 2000s at the height of the Virginia Tech power that they would be going on 8 years without a meaningful non-conference win in the 2020s. Or would you tell them that the Hokies would get blown out at home against Vanderbilt? How would they react to that? That was a loss Saturday that should make, and I think it has made, all Hokies fans nervous for the future, right? Because Virginia Tech now is at a fork in their athletics road. Because, let's look at some of the facts. The ACC, home of Virginia Tech, and the ACC could be a complete shell of itself by 2031. Who knows how realignment is going to impact the Atlantic Coast Conference? I mean, all of the rumors and the rumblings involve UVA going to a Big Ten, an SEC, or another conference like that. The rumors aren't really involving Virginia Tech. And so the Hokies have hooked their wagon to the ACC, and that could prove costly. Virginia Tech near the bottom of the conference in terms of funding and spending. And now the second coach that has been hired to turn things around is 16-23, and each week feels like the team is handed a more and more and more devastating loss. And this is when a massive and aggressive move really needs to come. Is that move going out and trying to make a splash hire? A couple names I thought of, G.J. Kinney from Texas State. He's had success down there. Is that the splash hire? Is it going out and is it bringing Spencer Danielson over from Boise State, who's had tremendous success with them? Do the Hokies open up the pocketbook and try to thrust themselves back into national relevance? Or is this the spot where the Board of Visitors decides that funding should stay the same and they should be still at the bottom of the ACC, or heck, even decrease? Because what we've seen the last couple of years, the results don't justify the spend. This is a Huge inflection point for Virginia Tech. The fan base is one of the best in the country. The program could be great, but misstep after misstep, culminating in Saturday night's loss, makes everything much more interesting. Makes everything much more interesting moving forward. All right, let's dive into some other things that happened over the weekend, from NASCAR to the tennis courts, the gridiron, the ballpark. It was an exciting sports weekend. Here's the sports update.
This is your Fitz The Bill morning update.
Getting you caught up on some of the biggest stories in sports.
After week one, we're already starting to see some issues in the quarterback room for the Giants. After the Commanders' defense shut down Russell Wilson and the Giants, Brian Daboll non-committal on who will be the starting quarterback in week two. Wilson went 17 of 37 for 168 yards and was sacked twice. The Baltimore Ravens fell 41-40 to the Buffalo Bills. The Ravens held a 40-25 lead over Buffalo with 4 minutes to go. The Ravens had a 99.1% win probability with 4 minutes and 48 seconds to go. Buffalo got a game-winning field goal from Matt Prater, who was playing in his first game with Buffalo after being signed off of the couch. The Green Bay Packers looked the part in week one with a 27-13 win over the Detroit Lions. Micah Parsons finished with just one tackle, but it was a sack. He played in 45% of the team's defensive snaps. Fun fact, Goff is now 3-17-1 all time when he doesn't have Sean McVay or Ben Johnson calling plays. Pittsburgh Steelers get a massive week one win to start the Aaron Rodgers era. I got to give props to him. Rodgers threw for 244 and 4 touchdowns as the Steelers got a Chris Boswell game-winning field goal to pick up a 34-32 win. In college football, an interesting decision from Deion Sanders, but it worked out with the win for the Buffaloes. Colorado gave 2 series to Caden Salter, 2 series to Julian Lewis, and 2 series to third-string quarterback Ryan Staub. The third stringer made the most of it, and he ended up leading Colorado to the 31-7 win over the Blue Hens. The top 25 has dropped. Ohio State remains at number 1. Clemson, who trailed by double digits to Troy at one point in the first half, slips a couple of spots to number 12. USF, South Florida, after beating Boise State and Florida to open up the season, they check in ranked 18th. It's the first time being ranked for USF in the last 7 years. Illinois and Florida State also both find themselves in the top 10. In U.S. Open news, Carlos Alcaraz wins the U.S. Open for his second U.S. Open title in his career, downing Jannik Sinner, and Ariana Sabalenka beat Amanda Anisimova in the U.S. Open final. Sabalenka earned a 6-3, 7-6 victory in 94 minutes. Chesterfield native Denny Hamlin won the pole at Worldwide Technology Raceway in St. Louis, parlayed that into a dominating Cup Series playoff win to punch his ticket to the next round. Hamlin logged the fastest lap and led the most laps with 75. Jason Henderson, ODU football star linebacker, he announced yesterday he is stepping away from football via his Instagram. Henderson tore his ACL, MCL, MPFL, and meniscus in the season finale of 2023. He's been trying to return from that injury, however, has not been able to. And in local high school football news over the weekend, Varina fell by 1 point to Maury, 14-13. In a thriller in Highland Springs, who hosted a North Carolina Power out of Charlotte, Huff fell 17-14 as well. All right, that's what you may have missed in the wide world of sports over the weekend. And we've got a great show coming up. No guests, just your calls, your texts. And Alan, 9:30, we are introducing a brand new overreaction segment. I've got 3 overreactions. You've got 3 overreactions. And we want to know your overreactions as well. Text them in throughout the show. 804-327-0888. After week 1 of the NFL season, what's your biggest overreaction from what you saw? We've only seen 60 minutes of football, but that is plenty enough time to have some grand overreaction, some grand sweeping thoughts on how the rest of the season will play out. That's coming up at 9:30. Don't go anywhere because we've got to dive into everything that we saw last night, or I guess yesterday overall in week one, especially what we saw last night in that 41-40 Buffalo Bills win. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there. Fitz the Bill coming up with more on the other side of this break.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
Catch up on the latest horse racing news with Off to the Races live broadcast, 10 to 11 every Saturday morning on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Hey, this is Michael with Incredible HVAC. We're a locally owned business, and we know how important it is to be comfortable in your own home. No matter the time of the year, if your heating or cooling system is not performing like it should, visit IncredibleHVAC.com. When you choose Incredible HVAC, you're not just getting great service, you're also helping our community. $25 every tune-up goes to our local food pantry, and we're proud partners of the Kiwanis Club, Optimist Club, and Charity Love organization. Incredible HVAC not only brings comfort to your home, but also to your community.
106.1 ESPN traffic.
We're seeing bumper-to-bumper traffic heading west on 64 between Mechanicsville Turnpike and 95 interchange. Beware of a crash on Midlothian Turnpike heading westbound, approaching Moorfield Park Drive, causing some backup to Providence Road. Slow-moving traffic on Perham Road heading northbound between September Drive and Patterson Avenue. And expect delays heading south on 95 between Bryant Park Interchange and Belvedere Street.
Hey, Richmond, looking for more Fitz the Bill content and behind-the-scenes looks into the show? Well, follow us on Instagram at Fitz the Bill ESPN RBA. You'll get all of the clips, exclusive hot takes, and so much more. Follow us at Fitz the Bill ESPN RBA on Instagram.
Brodsky Bear outside. First down, maybe a lot more. All the way up to midfield.
50-yard attempt. It would be a new career long for Boswell. For the lead, sweeps the leg, 60-yard. He's got it. Pittsburgh goes in front with 1:03 on the clock.
Here sends in a call for 2nd and 4. Darnold hits, he let it go. The ball is loose. The 49ers have it. It's Bosa.
Set for a game-winning field goal.
From 32 yards. Right there. The Bills open their final season in this stadium with a stunning offensive win.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill. Man, I'm ready to run through a brick wall after that. Well, except for the frickin' Bosa strip sack to finish the game of the Seattle Seahawks.
That's my dog.
That's besides the point.
That's my dog.
It was some fantastic games in week one. Bill Krosky, Merritt, Little Bill.
No, hold on. Let's run that back.
No, we got Bruce on line one.
No. The best part of that, Jordan can attest to this. We were in the car, and right before the play, they were like, yeah, we haven't heard anything out of Nick Bosa. And he made the next 2 plays and won the game. I was like, see, you just had to talk him up. That's why you keep your elite edge rushers, Dallas.
I hate Sam Darnold.
That's why you keep your elite edge rushers. That's why you pay him.
You know what Geno Smith did? He won the game for the Raiders. Oh, he was fantastic. You know what Sam Darnold did? He had 99 yards passing up until that final drive.
And Geno played the Patriots.
I don't care. I want Geno back.
I mean,
Raiders, can we have a redo, please?
No, don't get me wrong. I definitely take Geno 2 times over Sam Darnold. But yeah, Geno played the Raiders.
Yeah,
I mean the Patriots. Yeah. So,
all right, let's go out to the phone lines. We've got Bruce on line 1. Good morning, Bruce. How are we doing on this Monday morning after week 1?
Good morning. We still got the song. We got Motley Crue Jump in the background still playing.
Oh, you still got it playing?
Okay. Good morning, Fitz.
Good morning.
Good morning, Alan. Wow. That's all we can say. Hey, man, also in high school news, we had Glen Allen and Manchester go down to the wire Friday night.
Yeah, we did.
Manchester kicked a field goal to win a game. Man, what a game at Glen Allen High School Friday night.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I know RVA Sports Network, Rob Woodham and everyone, they were focusing in on that game as well as the massive kind of 804 versus 757, 804 versus the what's 704? 704 is Charlotte, right? I think that's Charlotte's area code. I mean, fantastic games across the area, and Manchester, Glen Allen, that was a great one too.
Yeah. I can talk, NFL, but I'm going to do something contrarian. I watched a lot of the Hall of Fame, NBA Hall of Fame enshrinement, and I'm just going to say something. I'm not calling for GOAT news. What I am saying is I don't know if a lot of us realize what happened Saturday and Friday evening in Springfield. The 2008 Redeem team was inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame. And I know you guys going to call in names and Coach K and all that. But LeBron James is a Hall of Famer in still, put the quote, air quotes around still, one of the top 5 players in the NBA. Hold on, rewind it. Rewind what I just said. LeBron James is a Hall of Famer and still, top air quotes around still, one of the top 5 players in the NBA. Guys, this is unprecedented at unprecedented. When have we seen this before? Y'all help me out with this.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say never.
Okay. I'm going to buy that. I'm going to buy that, guys. Guys, he's still one of the top 5 players in the league, and he's a Hall of Famer. Give this man some juice, man. Come on.
Look, Bruce, I'm going to be so honest with you. My mind was not on NBA whatsoever. My mind's not on basketball. I didn't even know they had the NBA Hall of Fame stuff this weekend. I was focused entirely on NFL, college football, everything like that. I respect you, man. September 8th, we just kicked off the NFL season, and we're out here talking basketball, man. That's how much you love it. I appreciate it. And you're right, LeBron, we have not seen that. It's the first time we've ever seen that. You use the word unprecedented.
That's all. I'm going to be honest with you. I could go into I'm not going to do the Jalen Hurts this morning, but I do think, Fitz, we need to reorganize that top 10 because I don't know. I think Burrow had 130 yards yesterday. I just don't know, man. I just don't know.
Bruce, thank you so much for calling in. Have a wonderful Monday. We'll revisit the Hurts thing later on in the week. When we get to Wednesday, Thursday, we'll revisit it. But if we're using one game samples as our reasoning, picking someone to be better than the other, then Jalen Hurts has had a lot of games in his career where he has been bad. So appreciate you calling in. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. We'll talk again later this week. All right, so the NFL season got underway. And, man, Alan, last night, What a game. What a 41-40 final where the Ravens blew a 15-point lead with 4 minutes left. And my Super Bowl pick is feeling rough.
Yeah, for every Chargers over the Chiefs you call, Ravens tricking it up happens, man. I mean, dude, like I said earlier on the Sports King show, at some point we got to hold these dudes accountable. This is getting consistent. They consistently blow games like this.
So I've got a couple of fun facts about this loss. Are you ready for them?
I'm ready.
This is from Ben Solak, friend of the program. He's come on as a guest before. We're going to try and get him on again. And he's one of my favorite follows on Twitter, X, Blue Sky, whatever you use, right? The Ravens have now lost 8 games since the 2021 season in which they, at one point, had a win probability of at least 90%. That's 3 more than the next closest team. This is from Dante Kopowitz Fleming. Teams with 40-plus points and 235-plus rushing yards in a game were 277-0, including playoffs. They're now 277-1. That's teams that score 40 points or more and rush for 235 yards or more. And this is from ESPN Research. Buffalo is the 4th team since 2000 to win after trailing by 15-plus points in the final 4 minutes of the fourth quarter. First team to do so since New Orleans did it in 2017. Since 2000, teams are 4 and 2,312 in this scenario. That's when they're trailing by 15 plus in the final 4 minutes. Every stat just, oh my goodness. How do the Ravens blow that, man? How? We'll go back out to the phone lines real quick. Reggie's out there on line 1. Good morning, Reggie. How we doing?
Not good. Congratulations, Coach Vic, on his first win. Not good at all. Man, it was
OT, baby, though. OT.
Yeah, it was HBCU having the bands, the crowd, the trash talking, the unruly behavior. It was HBCU live. So I got to say, it was crazy. It was crazy. But like I said, Dr. Frazier would have to go another game before he get his 100 victory. I was hoping he could pull it off, but congratulations in Norfolk State. It was an electric atmosphere down there. And it was about 22,000 at Coach Price Stadium. And it was just off the chain. But real quick, what's up with the Syracuse coach making his team run after that win?
Fran Brown's a different animal. Fran Brown's a different cat. I really don't know. That dude is a weird guy. Great coach, good coach, but he probably was making him run as a punishment for having to go so late in the game and not putting away UConn earlier. Fran Brown, though, is the same guy that I think doesn't wash his clothes after wins or something. No, he only lets himself shower after wins. That's what winners get to wash. That was his quote from last season. Dude's a weird guy.
Yeah, and I tell you, Grambling University and Ohio State,
had them right where they wanted them, Reggie.
Yeah, you got $1 million, but I tell you where they wanted them, the band. You should have seen those Ohio State guys watching Grambling young ladies. They was mesmerized. I was like, that's what we should have done. Let the Grambling band play and let the football players look at it.
Reggie, did you hear the quote from the Grambling head coach before the game? He essentially said, they got a good band. We've got a good band. This is going to be a really good battle between the bands. And he goes, we know what we're getting into on the football field, so we're excited about the bands. And he knew something. Not a great game for Grambling, but you get the payday, and that's kind of what you expect out of that one.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Reggie. Have a great rest of your Monday. We'll talk again soon. There goes Reggie. Yeah, Virginia State lost in OT to Norfolk State. Great game. Elizabeth City State put Hampton on the ropes for a little bit, but Hampton was able to overcome and get that win as well. Buffalo put Baltimore on the ropes last night, Alan. And can we dive into fourth down decision making here?
Can we? Sure. Let's do it. I was trying to find a way to make it radio appropriate to be like, can we dive into the stupidity that is John Harbaugh and this Baltimore Ravens, man?
Look, I'm right there with you. We got overreactions coming up at 9:30. Is this one of my overreactions? Yes, it is one of my overreactions. I'll kind of tease it here, though, right? Harbaugh is going to cost Lamar Jackson so much in terms of the overall legacy talk. Harbaugh constantly makes the wrong choice, not just the conservative choice, the wrong choice. When he should be conservative, he's aggressive. When he's aggressive, he should be conservative. And he does not understand that he's got an alien at quarterback and a monster at running back. And, oh, by the way, a good offensive line. Zay Flowers was slicing and dicing Buffalo yesterday. It's 4th and 2. It is 4th and 2 late in that game. And what do? You punt the ball back to them. You should have 93 seconds left in the game. It's 4th and 2. If you had gone for it, not even if you had gotten it, but if you had just gone for the 4th down, it would have increased your win percentage by 8.1%. That is if you had just gone for it. The difference between punting there and getting the 4th down conversion, which you had, according to analytics, a 65% chance of getting, it impacts your win percentage, your win probability by 8.1%. And look, I'm going to talk a lot of nerd numbers throughout this entire season. I did not expect to be diving into analytics and 4th down decision-making within the first day of the NFL season being back. That was an atrocious decision to punt the ball with 93 seconds left. The Buffalo Bills had just been slicing and dicing everywhere that they wanted to in that entire second half, specifically that 4th quarter. Your offense has scored 40 points. Your offense could not be stopped that entire game. Why did you take the ball out of their hands in that spot? And then, oh, by the way, should have gone for 2 when they scored their 40th points. You instead kicked the field goal, and what good would that have done? It would have made the 2-possession game a 2-possession game if they had made the extra point. But remember, they missed the extra point. He doinked it. And so it went from a 15-point game to a 15-point game. If you had gone for 2, though, in that spot, it would have taken the 2-possession game at 15 points and made it a 3-possession game at 17 points, changing the entire calculus for the Bills. Just 2 horrible decisions in the 4th quarter by Harbaugh that ultimately cost the Ravens from what is a game that likely will decide who the number 1 seed in the AFC is. Like, this game is in week 1. We were talking about how this might be a preview of the AFC Championship game. That game may have decided that the AFC Championship will be played at Highmark Stadium, or what is that what it's called? Highmark Stadium would be played in Buffalo for the last game ever in that stadium, because this is the last year of Buffalo Stadium before they move into a new state-of-the-art one right across the street. So this could have decided that Buffalo will host the AFC Championship game in what will be the most raucous and most expensive ticket in the history of Buffalo sports. And that game last night, those 2 decisions from Harbaugh are why the Bills will be hosting the AFC Championship game against the Baltimore Ravens, if the Ravens can even get there. All right, let's go back out to the phone lines. We've got Chris out there. Good morning, Chris. How are we doing?
Morning, Jack. How you doing?
Doing fantastic.
So, really quick, I know it's week 1, so there's a lot of overreaction. But if anything, I mean, Lamar Jackson, I know he's your guy. Nothing to take away from him, but what I've seen last night with my eyes is Derrick Henry is still the man, and that offense will go as far as Henry goes. I mean, at 31 years old, the guy puts up 200 yards, almost close to it, and we're talking about last season when he put up as much as yards as he did, and they didn't think he could do it again. And he comes out one of the first few runs of the game, takes it to the house 80 yards. I mean, I think Baltimore had a really good signing with him. I think if he's not there, I don't know how great Baltimore really is. But in their own defense, that had a lot of number 1 seed implications. But Josh Allen's playoff track record history isn't all that well either. He seems to choke in the big games. I think the AFC is wide open, but I'll leave you with this. Watch out for the Chargers. I think they're a dark horse.
Chris, you're speaking my language. Speaking my language by saying the Chargers are a dark horse. That was my pick to win the AFC West. They look pretty good that Friday night game, picking up that win. I'm right there with you. Appreciate you so much for calling in, Chris. Have a great Monday. Have a great rest of your week. I'll say this, though. I don't think you have to put down Lamar to bring up Derrick Henry. I think you put him on the same pedestal. I don't think Derrick Henry is amazing for that team. So is Lamar Jackson. Derrick Henry, as a fantasy football owner of Derrick Henry, I was very happy with his play last night. His fumble cost the team a lot there late, but he finished with 18 carries, 169 yards, averaging 9.4 yards per pop. That's an insane number, and he is so good because Lamar is so good, and Lamar is so dangerous. That is a two-headed just conundrum for defenses to try to figure out, and that makes the decision to punt on 4th and 2 with 93 seconds left so much more head-scratching, right? Like, you got Derrick Henry back there, man. You have Lamar Jackson back there, man. Just either hand it off to the guy who's averaging 10 yards a carry or put it in the hands of Lamar, who is throwing for 11 yards per pop or is rushing for 12 yards per pop. Like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? I'm putting Harbaugh in Frank's doghouse for the rest of the year. That is a Frank's doghouse type of move. You're on 4th and 2. Honestly, though, it's going to get lost in the shuffle. Not going for 2 after scoring the touchdown to make you have 40 points. That's more of a blemish because you decided that I would prefer to have a 2-possession lead while already having a 2-possession lead when I can make my 2-possession lead 3 possessions. That makes no sense. No sense. All right. We're going to get a break in here. On the other side, we've got some news or snooze. Keep calling in. Keep giving us your reactions from week 1. And, of course, text us in 804-327-0888 because at 9:30, we're going to have our first ever Overreaction Monday, and we want to hear from you. I've got 3 overreactions. Alan's got 3 overreactions, and we want to hear your text overreactions as well. Stay with us. News or snooze coming up.
Racing is back, and it's time to get ready for another Triple Crown season. Get the latest from the industry every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 with Off to the Races on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz. Nick Hahn and Frank Vespi bring you their insight and knowledge, talking with the people making the headlines, including jockeys, trainers, and owners. Plus, get the expert picks each week, including a visit by Derby Bill Watson. It's Off to the Races each Saturday morning at 10 on 106.1 ESPN. Streaming live on the iHeartRadio app.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
Whoa! Jason Kelsey just found out that NFL Sunday Ticket now lets you subscribe month to month. Yeah! He just realized you can join and cancel anytime.
Aha! Now that's what I'm talking about.
Now he just found $1 in the sofa.
Yeah!
And he just saw a great parking spot open up. Look, just because Jason's easily excited doesn't make NFL Sunday Ticket month to month any less great. Right, Jason?
Yeah.
Get NFL Sunday Ticket month to month and cancel anytime. Woo! Sign up at NFLSundayTicket.com. Renews every month during the 2025 regular season. Cancel anytime. Terms and embargoes apply. No refunds. Commercial use excluded.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Before, when stuff like this happened with the Patriots or the Astros, it's cheaters to champions. And it feels like with Michigan and Jim Harbaugh, we're just kind of like, okay, yeah, they cheated, but they still won. I don't know why with this specific instance, we're not as outraged as we have been in the past when it comes to other cheating to championship scandals.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Weather reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
106.1 ESPN weather.
Taking a look at today's weather, it's currently 56 degrees and sunny with a high today of 76 and a low of 53. We're seeing clear and sunny skies throughout the rest of the morning and into the afternoon. Lower humidity today with a northern wind averaging at about 8 miles per hour with gusts up to 20 miles per hour.
This has been Ingram with the Atlanta Braves. Keep it locked here on 106.1 ESPN, your home for the Atlanta Braves all season long.
News or snooze?
All right, we're going to give Jack a break from his rants here with some news or snooze. I feel like, Jack, you're very ranty this morning, man. Is it anything that happened to you this weekend has got you upset?
You know, nothing happened to me over the weekend, but a lot's happened in the last 38 minutes.
I feel like something had to have happened on Sunday.
Oh, we're talking that.
All
right, whatever.
Oh,
all right, we're bringing that up.
You sure?
Look, you want to get me ranting about Sam Darnold and the Seahawks now, too?
Sam Darnold, man.
What in a just there's no other reaction.
I'm gonna clip that sigh.
It was
that's the sigh of every losing fan in week one.
No, not even losing. It was the way in which Seattle lost.
Yeah, you had every chance to win.
Every chance to win. Your offense was down to its 15th string tight end, Tungus or whatever his name was, and they were within the 10, right? We're within the 15 at least, with 50 seconds left, controlling their own destiny. And Abe Lucas, who just signed the extension, gets blown up into the lap of Sam Darnold, and he fumbles it. You know who wouldn't have fumbled that? Geno Smith.
Nah, Geno would have got sacked 2 plays before that.
And
All right,
you know what?
News or
and
snooze?
it would have set them up to not have a turnover.
That's true. News or snooze? Giants, Brian Daboll doesn't commit to Wilson as week 2 starter.
Newsworthy. I thought for sure that we would have Russell in for kind of the long haul, and I wouldn't expect one bad game to start the season to derail the plans that the Giants had for Jackson Dart. But I guess that's how hot Brian Daboll's seat is. He understands he probably has to make the playoffs this year, or he's not going to be coaching in New York next season. Russell Wilson went 17 of 37, 168 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, was sacked twice, had a QBR of 25.6, which is bad. He also ran the ball 8 times for 44 yards, no touchdowns, as the Giants offense did not find the end zone. So maybe it's a switch up to Jackson Dart, who was the better quarterback throughout the preseason.
It's just bad organization making more confusing moves. If that's all it takes for Russell Wilson to potentially lose his job, then you should have just started Dart from the start.
Yeah, Dart from the start.
Yeah.
I agree with that too. Like, here's my thought process, right? When we had Amani Toomer on last week, the former Super Bowl champ with the New York Giants, he knows a thing or two about how to win in that city, right? He made the point where I don't really want to see Jackson Dart being thrust into that starting role too early. He brought up some of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. They sat a couple of years, or at least a year, and benefited from learning the position and not being thrust into the starting lineup. And, I thought Jackson Dart was better than Russell Wilson. However, I like the idea to go with Russell first as your QB1. Allow Russell to maybe teach Jackson Dart a little bit. He starts to get his feet wet. And we put Jackson Dart in either at the end of the season or going into next year. And this was just kind of the placeholder year with Russell Wilson. The decision to start Russell told me that Brian Daboll had job security and that they would not rush Jackson Dart, which is great for his development. And now, after one bad game, we're all of a sudden non-committal on Russell Wilson. We might start Jackson Dart in week 2, and that throws all of that reasoning out the window, and it tells me that the Giants are just aimless. They're just aimless.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know if I would even put that loss solely on Russell Wilson. I feel like there's been a couple situations in the last 2 weeks where I feel like people need to sit down and really, say, look at the tape. No, like really sit down and look at the tape. I would put more of that on the offensive line.
Because they made the Commanders' defensive line look like world beaters.
I mean, they were world beaters yesterday. they were doing some good things, man. And I think Russell got the yips. His timing was definitely off, even on his deep passes, which is uncharacteristic of him. I just think he got the yips. So at the end of the day, again, if this is all it takes, I mean, just make a decision and stick with it. Because going back and forth, he did that last year with Jones and I got Tommy cold cuts. Like just
get them cold cuts.
Yeah,
get them cold cuts.
Just get it together, man. Because that team's talented still. I think the Giants can win some football games. I still have some faith in them, but man, they just the front office and the coaching staff just doesn't seem to have a clear plan.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, number 2, which I'm going to disagree with. I'll jump. Jaden Daniels has uncharacteristic struggles in opening game.
It's newsworthy. I'm right there with you. 19 of 30, 233 yards, pretty good. 1 touchdown, pretty good. No interceptions, was sacked 3 times. Oh, by the way, the Giants have one of the best front defensive lines in the league.
Yeah, and they had a rotation of all pros essentially going against a rookie right tackle. I think Connolly got beat once for a sack. I remember that specifically. But for the most part, he did well. Also, just to kind of put it into perspective, the first game last year when Jaden Daniels played the Giants, I think it was week 2 of the season, he got sacked 5 times. And then in the second game they played, he didn't get sacked at all. And that's just it's the defensive front and the formation, just kind of scheme wise. I think Jaden Daniels and just the offense in general, they don't really like 3-4 or these hybrid like nickel defenses where essentially the personnel is a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you see him have some different sack totals when he first sees the team, and then the second time around they make the adjustment.
And it's also week 1. You didn't have Terry McLaurin with you for all of training camp. You're getting used to that. The offense is a little different than what it was. What do you make out of the fact that Debo got 10 targets, Terry McLaurin just got 4?
It's scheme. They were
just the way the game plan kind of unfolded.
Yeah, no, they were definitely emphasizing keeping Debo boxed in, but keeping Terry boxed in, but allowing Debo a little bit of space underneath.
Yeah.
And then you got to think too, from a spacing standpoint, the way that the offense is set up, Terry's your vertical guy. He's the field stretcher. You don't have a lot of time, so you're not really looking at Terry.
You don't have time
you're looking underneath. So it sets up better for your guys that are running the shorter routes.
Little Bill Krosky-Merritt led the way with 10, or I guess technically Jaden Daniels led the way, but Krosky-Merritt had the most touches out of any running back with 10 carries,
which is how it should be.
Austin Eckler, though, led the way with 33 snaps. Bill Krosky-Merritt had just 23 snaps. So that is something I expect to kind of flip each week. Chris Rodriguez was a healthy scratch.
Yeah, that'll probably be what it's like going forward. One thing I will say, and I will keep sounding the alarm on this, Jaden Daniels takes too many unnecessary hits. The accumulation of those hits.
This was the issue coming out of LSU.
Yes, the accumulation of these hits will eventually show itself. It's not the same as Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen's kind of built to take some of it, but people don't squarely hit Lamar Jackson a lot of times.
No.
Like when he does get tackled, it's kind of one of those like, oh, I thought you were going to juke me. I'm just glad to have hands on you, pull you down to the ground type stuff. The run he had yesterday where he was shifty and got away and got popped by like a safety or something, that's the hardest I've seen him get hit in open field in a long time. That is why Lamar is, for the most part, very durable for a mobile quarterback. My man Jaden takes on the full brunt of hits sometimes, and it's just not a smart thing to do, man. Like, even if you can't get down, like, learn how to
do something.
Get downhill, try to get out of bounds or something. He did it a little bit of it as the game got longer, but early on, man, a couple of those hits, like even in the press box, they're groaning. Like, it just looks bad.
It's also like Lamar. You said Josh Allen built for the hits. 100% he is. Lamar also is the same weight as Jaden Daniels, but 2 inches shorter. So like Jaden is a string bean.
Yeah.
He's going to break in half eventually.
Yeah.
I just hope he doesn't.
I don't like it at all, honestly. So That would be my only issue. And obviously we'll have more about that on Raising Hell. We've got Dietrich Wise as our special guest this week.
Big time.
Yeah, so we'll record that and get that out. So just plug that real quick. Anyway, number 3. Ravens suffer first loss in franchise history when scoring 40 plus points. Hold on.
Oh my goodness. I just ranted about this. Let me read some of these stats again for you real quick. Ravens have now lost 8 games since 2021 in which they at one point had a win probability of at least 90%. That's 3 more than the next closest team. Teams with 40 points or more scored and 235 rushing yards or more were 277-0 in the history of the NFL. They are now 277-1. What are we? Come on, Harbaugh.
I got a hot take. Super hot take. The Ravens will never win a Super Bowl as long as they keep blowing games like this.
That's hot. I thought you were going to say the Ravens will never win a Super Bowl as long as Harbaugh's their coach.
No, because they've won with Harbaugh before.
They won't win another one.
Yeah, well,
you got to fire Harbaugh. That's my hot take.
No. We don't fire Harbaugh. We don't
give him this season.
We don't fire Harbaugh.
Look, I like firing people.
I like firing people too, but we're getting a little. That's crazy. That's crazy. We're not firing Harbaugh. Why not? I mean, we're not firing Mike Tomlin either. And I don't even like Mike Tomlin. We can't fire these guys.
Why?
Because
What's else is the goal of the NFL? What's the goal of professional sports?
Sometimes it's to make money, but
as a fan, that's not what I want to hear. The goal is to win championships. And you know what Mike Tomlin and Harbaugh have not done?
Yeah, in a while, I get that. But man, there is not a lot out here outside. Like, man, I would take my chances with the Harbaugh than end up, and I hate to put you under the rug here or back the bus over you, Dolphin.
All right,
but Mike McDaniel, man.
I thought you were about to bark
no.
I was like, Mike McDonald's a good coach.
McDonald's a great coach. He'll be fine.
Yeah,
I think
Mike McDaniel.
He's got to get a quarterback to really get him over the hump. But like, imagine you fire a Tomlin and you fire a Harbaugh. And you go for the flashy offensive coordinator hire, which in this case would probably be my guy Joe Brady out in Buffalo. I love Joe Brady, but man, I can't. You can't take that risk, right?
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, it is the track record of Harbaugh since COVID is quite impressive with the amount of games that the Ravens overall have been able to lose. Now, maybe that's a mix of Harbaugh plus Lamar and all of that. But
it is.
The decision making from the coaching staff is what makes me so upset because you have Lamar and you have Derrick Henry in the backfield. It's 4th and 2 with 93 seconds left. If you get the first down, you win the game. Why are you taking the ball out of their hands and giving it to the defense, which had just been shredded time and time again in the whole second half? Like, that's what I just can't wrap my head around. I cannot wrap my head around that. Like, that's the part that's confusing to me.
And I'm 1000% with you there because there's a lot of guys who do that. There's a lot of coaches that seem to forget in today's NFL, the best defense is an offense. And at the end of the game, you want to close with the ball in your hands. You don't want to put it on a defense because there's just too many opportunities for penalties and goofy things to happen. I'd rather have my offense out there knowing that if anything, most of the time the calls are on my side. Like, I'm going to get some kind of defensive holding, hands to the face or something like that over depending on essentially the refs. Because there's just too many penalties, man. It's scary.
There's so many penalties in a game. I was watching multiple games at one time yesterday, a couple of screens, and at one point, like, all of them had a flag being called, and I was like, "What are we?" I'm all for making sure that there's scoring and trying to get some stuff out of the game, but at a certain point, like, you got to let a defense be able to play. Like, the Seahawks were called for like 5 illegal contacts, and it was just like happenstance contact, like 10 yards down the field. It's just, that's always frustrating. But why are you taking the ball out of the offense's hand? They are your best unit. Your defense played a good first half. The second half, they were getting shredded. I mean, they allowed 22 points in the fourth quarter. Your offense was what got you there. They had scored 40 points. They had rushed for over 235 yards. All you need is 2 yards. Just do that. And then even before the 2-point conversion, like, you should have gone for 2 there. The decision to go from a 2-possession game to a 2-possession game with kicking the extra point is one that loses you football games. And it lost them the football game because even if they had kicked that field goal, you know what would have happened? They would have gone to overtime. They're playing in Buffalo, and overtime favors the home team. Like, there's just so many things that just went, that they made the wrong decision. The right decision was in front of them, and they went the wrong way.
And you got a million options when you got Lamar Jackson as quarterback.
That's what
you can do an
Derrick Henry
RPO. You can do a read option. You can just empty the backfield and have Lamar do what you want to do, man. Like, hey,
could do
run for two and throw it.
Play action rollout, something like put him on.
Yeah, the play action probably would have worked too.
Put him on the
Derrick
move.
Henry had 1,000 yards by then.
and like Zay Flowers had like 140 receiving yards. Maybe you get him on a quick developing. There's just so many things where it's just like you could have done the right thing and you didn't. And you suffer your first loss in franchise history when your team has scored 40 points or more.
Last year, they lost by a toe.
Literally. And it came back to bite him at the end of the season. Well, Isaiah Likely was out of the end zone by literally a toe.
To get a good laugh. Last year, I had the Ravens to cover. And that obviously no touchdown call cost me the cover. This year, I had the same scenario where I was like, oh, man, I really like the Ravens. And I said to myself, I was like, nah, if they can find a way to lose, they will. So I didn't even play the game. So I stayed away from it. And then look what happened.
There was a point where I was just like, wow, the Bills are getting blown out here. Like, this is rough for them. And then
fans leaving it. That was silly.
It's a 2-possession game. As long as it's a 2-possession game in the NFL.
A 2-possession game and you have an explosive offense.
As long as it's 2 possessions, even if you don't have an explosive offense, like 2 possessions is nothing in the NFL.
Yeah, especially when people punt.
Or they don't go for 2, or you play to win the game, as Jim Moore Jr. would say. You play to win the game, and that was
Herm Edwards.
Was it? Yeah, it was Herm Edwards. Jim George was playoffs.
Yeah,
my fault. Too many sound bites. Was Darryl Green the Cardinals good? We let them off the hook.
Yep, we are who they thought
they are. They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Cardinals versus I want to say
Vikings.
Right? Yeah. I want to say it was the Vikings.
We don't get those sound bites anymore.
Maybe it was the Bears. I had to go back and look. But yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. We don't get those sound bites anymore. The closest we get is Brian Kelly hitting a table last season. That was so fake.
No, yeah, that was awful. We get a couple good sound bites from our boy Dabo, but not in the NFL. We don't get many good sound bites.
We get Mike McDaniel yesterday looking dejected after his team got absolutely boat raced by the Colts. Color me shocked. I was a Mike McDaniel believer, and his game yesterday made me a Mike McDaniel non-believer. I'm selling all my stock. Whoever wants it, pennies on the dollar. Pennies on the dollar. I will sell my Mike McDaniel stock. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. We've got Chris, the Raiders, 2013 win over the Patriots. Geno Smith throws for, man, Chris, can we have Geno back? As a Seahawks fan, I am just longingly watching him throw for 362 yards. What are your thoughts after that win?
The autumn win is a Raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh, and we've conquered and won. Period. Hard stop. Good morning, guys. Let's talk Raider football. Geno, 24 for 34, 360, 1 tutty, 1 pick. Pick was a choice, questionable choice, but I can live with that when you're trying to make plays.
Look, he'll give you one of those a game. Geno will give you one questionable pick a game.
Well, okay.
And
if
it's
you
okay.
give me 360 with a tutty, I'll take the 360 with a tutty.
Yep.
I'll take that all day, every day, especially from a Raiders fan. We haven't had a quarterback throw for 300 since Derek Carr, maybe. It just felt good to see a competent quarterback. Chip Kelly was calling plays masterfully. I know everybody will say, well, it was New England, but, I mean, you got to remember, we're the Raiders, so it's not like we were supposed to go in there and win. So I really like the way we look. You can tell the coaching difference made a difference after the halftime adjustments that were made. I think the Raiders are going to surprise a lot of people. They really look good. They got a lot more weapons than people think. Brock Bowers went out, and the first Brock Bowers, which was Michael Mayer from Notre Dame, that people seem to have forgotten about, he became Brock Bowers for us for this game. So that's a lot to look forward to. A lot to look forward to. Just glad football's back, and that's about it.
I love it. Chris, appreciate you calling in. I like the Raiders. The Raiders were fun yesterday. 362 from Geno. It makes me long for the days of Pete and Geno in Seattle. after yesterday's loss for the Seahawks, a heartbreaker there. But Brock Bowers finishes with 103 yards. Jacoby Myers, 3 yards short of a century. Trey Tucker goes for 2 catches, 54 yards as well, and a touchdown. Just a masterful game through the air. The Raiders found the pain point of the Patriots, and they leaned on it. Drake May, 30 completions, 46 attempts, 287, a touchdown and an interception. Travion Henderson led all New England running backs with 27 yards of rushing, 5.4 yards per carry, just 5 carries. Ramondre Stevenson, 7 carries. The Patriots went heavy pass, 46 pass attempts, just 18 rush attempts. Kayshon Boutte had 6 receptions, 103 yards, but the Raiders just did what they needed to do, and big time win to start the Pete Carroll era down there in Las Vegas. So good for them. I've got an overreaction though about Ashton Genty coming up at 9:30. We've already gotten a couple of texts in about their overreactions. Get yours in as well. 804-327-0888. Overreaction Monday is coming up at 9:30. You do not want to miss it. Our first ever Overreaction Monday, and we want to hear from you. Text us your biggest overreactions from week 1 of the NFL season. Also, coming up tomorrow, we'll be joined by Lake Lewis, our Raise and Hail Commander Insider. He'll be joining to talk all things Commanders, Giants, and looking ahead to the rest of the season as well. Lake Lewis will be joining us in studio tomorrow. You did not want to miss that. We cannot wait for it. He'll be joining us every single Tuesday as our Raise and Hail Commanders Insider throughout the entire season. All right, we're going to get a break in here. Be back. Hour number 2. We'll talk a little college football, see how the Commonwealth schools fared. And, man, there's a new group of 5 contender, and they have never been a contender before. So they have stormed the stage down there in South Florida. Kind of South Florida. Technically not South Florida. So much coming up. Stay with us. 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports.
From hot topics in the morning to Spider Pride in the evening, 106.1 ESPN Richmond keeps you talking. Fitz the Bill, Border to Border, the Mashup Hour, and the Sports Huddle. Always live and always local. 106.1, where Richmond talks sports.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
Cooler fall temperatures are coming, and that means perfect weather for a round of golf at Queenfield Golf Club. Queenfield is a beautifully secluded 18-hole course just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville that offers a spacious driving range, practice greens and bunkers, and professionally maintained golf course. Take the afternoon off or schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve your spot online at queenfieldgolf.com. Queenfield Golf Club, RVA's best-kept secret.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 106.1 ESPN. You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 106.1 ESPN.
Welcome back in hour number 2 of Fitz the Bill right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Allen alongside. Appreciate you clocking in. Get in your day started with us where Richmond talks sports. A fantastic hour number 2 coming up. Some college football we'll dive into. And in about 30 minutes, Overreaction Monday. 3 overreactions from myself, 3 overreactions from Allen, and we want to hear your massive overreactions because, Allen, look, week 1 gave us a lot to talk about. Mainly, do we believe in the Steelers now? Does Aaron Rodgers, was that a one-off, or do we believe in Aaron Rodgers? I'll poke some holes in his performance because I am a certified Rodgers hater. He did have 4 touchdowns, which is awesome, great for him, but he only had 244 yards. And it was a 34-32 game. He went 22 of 30, good, 4 touchdowns, 8.1 yards per pass. A solid performance. DK, 4 catches, 83 yards. But a lot of people ready to anoint Aaron Rodgers as the savior of Pittsburgh. Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast. I wasn't fully bought in, but I'm also a certified Rodgers hater.
Oh, my mic's muted. Isn't that like the fashionable thing to do now? Just hate on Aaron Rodgers?
Are you buying into the Aaron Rodgers not love, but do you think it was a good performance from the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, I mean, compared to his last couple of years, it was great.
Compared to how he used to play in the Meadowland or MetLife Stadium.
He looked confident. He looked like he was well aware that he is now old, so he was using his mind more than his body. The best part was he looked like he had good chemistry with his receiving core. Like they all looked like they were on the same page. It wasn't a lot of the Aaron Rodgers hands on hips and arms out and yelling at people, which I don't mind that kind of stuff from my quarterback because it's a lot to get organized. But it just seemed like he didn't have to say a lot. Like everybody kind of knew what they were supposed to do. And the fact that they put up that many points is great because the Jets secondary is still solid. Their defense is still solid, and they're going against a good defensive minded coach. So all in all, if you're a Steeler fan, you should be optimistic because your defense isn't going to play that bad probably ever again. Not this year.
That's true. I'm too much of a hater to appreciate. Too much of a hater to appreciate. Your reaction to the Dolphins there, because the Dolphins got absolutely obliterated. And I don't mean to pile on Dolphin Dave when he's already down here on this one, but a 33-8 loss. The Colts just ran away with it. Cam Bynum had maybe the most demoralizing celebration I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, he picks 6 Tua Tagovailoa, gets in the end zone, fakes a hammy pull as he crosses the goal line, crosses in, and then gets on his back and looks like a flopping fish. That was the most disrespectful pick 6 celebration. But hey, look, if you get that pick 6, you can do it. And the Colts, Daniel Jones looking like world beaters. Daniel Jones finished 22 of 29, 272 with the tutty. And the Colts made it look easy, winning 33-8. Dolphins scored all 8 of their points in their fourth quarter. Just a 23-0 start through the first 3 for Indy. And I'm ready to say some out-of-pocket stuff about the Colts in the AFC South. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. We've got Espo on line 1. Good morning, Espo. How we doing?
I'm tucking my tail this week after last week's great purple and gold weekend. Madison laid the egg of the century. I guess they laid 2 eggs with 2 quarterbacks. And LSU was unimpressive against, a game, but not particularly talented LA or Louisiana Tech team.
Yeah.
But I really called to talk to you about Pry at Tech. I just think it's the end for this guy.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Last week, the Clemson LSU game, the players of the game for LSU were a kid named Braylon Moore, who was a center, ex-Tech center, and the safety back there, Mansour Delane, who was, made the big interception, another Tech starter. And, I watch them against Vandy. They look good the first half. They look like they were playing. And then all of a sudden it just falls apart again. Now, I don't know what you do to fix that. He's losing players. They don't look well coached. They, and I was a supporter. I was hoping he would do well. But it's time for the change, I think.
Well, Espo, isn't that's the thing? I was kind of right there with you, right? I was a believer in Pry. Last season, I had high hopes for them. They fell on their face. This year, I was like, they learn from that. They'll come out with a renewed sense of urgency. They understand what's at stake. And even after the South Carolina game, it's like, okay, well, South Carolina is a better team than them. They kept it close. The defense looked fantastic against them. And then against Vandy, you're up 20-10 at half. And then in an instant, you're down going into the fourth quarter. And then in 9 minutes of the fourth quarter, you're then down like 3 scores and all hope is vanished. And it's just like, how does that happen? How do you let that happen? And this is the worrisome thing now for Virginia Tech and Brent Pry and that entire program. The people like you and I who aren't necessarily alums, who still had hope in the team, are now just like, why are they keeping him? Like, what's the point now at this point? I don't think Pry's going to make it through the year.
I don't either. I mean, they have talent. That team is obviously talented. That's the reason I pointed up those 2 kids I did. They've got talent. They're just not performing. And I don't know. The quarterback is tough. He's a good kid. He's courageous in there. Under a lot of pressure. And all of a sudden, you're watching them lose to Vanderbilt. They're used to throwing diplomas around, not footballs at Vanderbilt. I mean, that's the Harvard of the SEC. I don't get it. And look, Vandy's a good team. Don't get me wrong; they're not terrible, but you can't go out and lose like that. I mean, you just cannot.
You can't. Maybe you can lose, but you can't lose in that fashion.
Yeah.
Like you had the game where you wanted it, 20-10 going into the half, and then you have 21 yards of total offense. 21 yards of total offense in the second half. That's unacceptable.
That's rec league stuff. That's high school stuff. That's not major college. No major college does that. 20 yards?
And
come on.
And the defense allowed over 300 yards of total offense in the second half. Like, both of these hires that were supposed to come in, and Sam Seifkis of the defensive coordinator and Phil Montgomery, the offensive coordinator, were expected to come in and fix things. And for the most part, offensively, looks like they haven't really fixed things. Through 8 quarters now, they've scored 2 touchdowns, and they only had 21 total yards in the second half on Saturday night. That's not good enough. And your defense played one really good game, and then one half of a good game, and then you allowed, 34 points in the second half? Like, they're in a very dangerous spot of the wheels coming off completely.
Well, well-coached teams get better over time. Poorly coached ones don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at it in whatever time frame you want, over year to year, quarter to quarter, game to game, however you want to look at it. It's just not working. And like I said, I'm sure he's a good coach in different situations, but I just don't think he's a good coach for Tech. And it hurts because they were the flagship school for years for the Commonwealth. I mean, Madison maybe has taken over the mantle over last week. I wouldn't say that, but that 2 quarterback system ain't working. But in my overreaction, I know it's not 9:30. My overreaction is Chesney can't coach. I mean, he can, but boy, that was a bad performance last.
Hey, Espo, between you and me, JMU, he's 5-5 over his last 10 regular season games, I believe, if I'm doing the math correctly. Of those 5, I think he's been favored in 4 of them, if not, favored in 4 of them. And according to my advanced nerd numbers, they should have won according to net success rate. So they were the better team at moving the football on a down-to-down basis in 4 of those 5 losses. Everything points to JMU should be 4-1 in those 5 losses, and instead they have lost all 5.
Well, there was a better team Friday. Just couldn't win. Anyway, I'll let somebody else talk, but I just feel bad for Price. I think he's gone, and I'm hopeful that they'll turn around. Virginia, to me, looks like a football team, though. I'm happy with Coach Tony, even though they lost. I'm happy with that effort.
Yeah, Espo, thank you so much for calling in. Have a great rest of your Monday. We'll talk again soon later this week. Let's get a break in here, because then on the other side, let's turn our attention to college football a little bit. What Virginia Tech did, UVA nearly getting the win against NC State, but I think signs are pointing in the right direction for UVA. We'll talk about that and what happened Friday night with JMU. So much to dive into. And as a reminder, Overreactions coming up at 9:30. Get your texts in now. We'll step aside. Be back with more Fitz the Bill on this Monday morning.
Cooler fall temperatures are coming, and that means perfect weather for a round of golf at Queenfield Golf Club. Queenfield is a beautifully secluded 18-hole course just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville that offers a spacious driving range, practice greens and bunkers, and professionally maintained golf course. Take the afternoon off or schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve your spot online at queenfieldgolf.com. Queenfield Golf Club, RVA's best kept secret.
With rising gas prices in the RVA, save money every time you fill up with the Fuel Rewards program at Bon Air Shell. Sign up today at bonairshell.com or stop by 8762 Huguenot Road.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Incredible Cleaning Services is family-owned and the locally trusted choice for homes and businesses in the Tri-Cities area since 2017. From one-time deep cleans, we also specialize in commercial cleaning and construction cleaning to regular service and maintenance cleaning. We save you valuable time. For your free estimate, visit our website at incrediblecleaningservice.com. Here at Incredible Cleaning Services, we will give you your weekend back to spend it with family and friends. incrediblecleaningservice.com.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Linux dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Looking to grow your local business? Let's team up. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, host of Fitz the Bill on ESPN Richmond. Together, we can craft on-air campaigns that drive customers right through your doors. Ready to collaborate? Email me, jack.fitzpatrick@summitmediacorp.com.
I'm waiting for the chords to come in here.
Yeah, I didn't set it up for that. I didn't want you to take it personally.
I'm not taking it personally.
I mean, well, you are a loser. You're the Seahawks fan.
I thought you were talking about JMU.
Oh, no, not at all.
JMU also a loser. Virginia also a loser. Virginia Tech also a loser.
Hey, look, I will say this.
ODU not a loser. Richmond not a loser.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I will say this. UVA's loss was very Baltimore Raven-like, but I could take some positives from that. There's nothing positive about the other schools, unfortunately.
Nothing positive. That was my entire takeaway from UVA. I mean,
they had a 24-14 lead going into halftime, and then NC State outscored them 21-7 in the third quarter.
Confession.
Yeah.
It's my fault. They scored all those points once I turned the game on. Yeah. I was a jinx. But look, I hadn't watched UVA. I didn't catch the Coastal Carolina game. And once I got done with my errands, I was very excited to see that they were playing. I could watch it. And I turned it on, and I kid you not, like, yeah, it was me. I apologize, Wahoo fans.
It was also funny because there's like in a blink of an eye, and all of a sudden it was like, oh,
dude, it was
there's NC State. They are.
Turned it on, popped some popcorn, got some water, came back. Wait, they're ahead?
Yeah, how did this happen? It's like NC State turned it off, then turned it back on again, and it just reset everything. And
it's the meme where they sit up when they have the controller and they sit up.
They sit up, and all right, we got to take this seriously right quick. And then neither team scored in the fourth quarter. Maybe this isn't the takeaway that UVA fans are having, because seeing it on Twitter and everything like that, it feels that UVA fans actually expected, which is fair. They expected to win the game, and they're upset about the coaching, especially in the third quarter, that allowed NC State to pull away and end up with the 4-point win. But as an unbiased, just kind of watcher from the outside, felt like this was a game where UVA would not have been in the past. And kind of big picture, zooming out, you would have loved to win this game. You were in position to win this game. You probably should have won this game. But at the same time, it feels like all signs are pointing positive. Everything is indicating that this team is much better than last year's team. Chandler Morris was looking good with 257. Jamari Taylor, 3 tutties, 150 yards. I mean, things seem that they're going in the right direction for UVA. Would have loved to get the win if you're a UVA fan, 1,000%. But at the end of the day, like, I don't think this is a derailing loss by any means. And it actually gives me hope looking ahead to these next 2 games against William and Mary. You should destroy that game. And against Stanford at home. Like, next 3 games are at home, and you should go 2-1 over these next 3 and put yourself at 3-2 heading into the meat of your conference schedule. I like the way that kind of shakes out for him.
Yeah, I thought, again, all things considered, you never like to hear that a loss was a good loss, but like they competed, they played well enough to win,
and they blew it. They did blow it,
but those are mistakes that I feel like you can go back and correct. Right, the games where you can look at something and be like, well, if we just do this, like the Cowboys last week with the Eagles, if CD just catches the ball, that's something you're gonna fix, right? Yeah. In UVA's case, not turning the ball over, something that you can fix,
or even maybe not allowing that third explosive play that happened.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we didn't get our gap just right. That's something
we need to make
fix.
tackles, et cetera. Like, coachable things that you can fix is better than when you have the games where I hate to put it on Tech, but I don't know. Like, you can't look at that game and be like, "Oh, we can fix this." No, that was a collapse. That was bad.
Like, you look at UVA and they're like, okay, they have the talent to compete.
Yeah.
With UVA, you're just like, I don't know if they even have the talent to compete right now.
Yeah, Tech is struggle bus, man. But I am very happy to see that Tony Elliott has the team moving in the right direction. And hope that they will, obviously translate that into more wins. But like we talked about before the season started, their schedule has a lot of winnable games. I mean, even the tough game that we thought they would have doesn't quite look so tough on paper anymore. So
Florida State?
Yeah. They could compete with them.
Oh, I see what you mean. But Florida State also looks a lot better than
it was sarcasm. It was Virginia Tech.
Oh.
Florida State looks good.
Yeah, Florida State does. I was like, what?
Yeah. But no, I was talking about Tech and even Louisville. Like, those were the 2 games that we were, because I think we all kind of had them losing to Florida State regardless.
Yeah.
But
you should win Washington State. You should win at UNC now. UNC looks bad. Cal's not great. So you're sitting there. You're going to have 3 wins going into the Florida State game. Washington State win, North Carolina win, Cal win. And I think you could probably get a Wake win and a Virginia Tech win. This lining up, you could have 8 wins.
Historically speaking, a ranked Florida State coming into Charlottesville doesn't necessarily equate to a win automatically either. They have a history, so they could get an upset there too. But I expect them to be in every single game for the remainder of their schedule, and that is not something we've been able to say about UVA for a long time.
Yeah, a game they let slip away. They should have beat NC State, but I feel confident in UVA moving forward outside of this game. For Virginia Tech, I cannot say the same. Like, just completely different trajectories between the two squads. UVA up, Virginia Tech very much down, and then JMU neutral. Like, just a tough game on Friday. We'll break it all down on Talkin' Dukes later this week, Wednesday at 6 p.m., myself and Matt Josephs. But JMU has a quarterback problem. JMU has a coaching problem. And that is something the Dukes, I think, truly have to figure out. What is it? Because the old adage, if you got two quarterbacks, you got none, was never more evident than it was on Friday night against Louisville. You had Sluka coming in on clear rundowns, and you had Alonzo Barnett coming in on clear passing downs. In the second half of the game, Alonzo Barnett threw the ball 18 times, Alan. Of those 18, 16 were in passing situations, which are defined as either 2nd and 10, 3rd and long, so like 3rd and 5+, or late in game when you need to throw to come back. 16 of his 18 passes in the second half were in clear passing situations. That's not going to win you a lot of games, and that's setting both of your quarterbacks up in this dual quarterback system for failure. And that is something JMU now has a bye week to figure out before they face off against Liberty the following week. Liberty coming off of a disappointing loss to Jacksonville State. Not a good weekend overall for state schools. However, ODU did get the win against NC Central, but then they lost their star linebacker, Jason Henderson, to retirement. Jason Henderson was one of the best linebackers in the nation. Was I think first team Sun Belt in 22, first team Sun Belt in 23, had over 250 tackles between those two seasons, was an absolute monster, had extremely high expectations going into 2024. But at the end of 2023, he tore his ACL, MCL, MPFL, and meniscus against Georgia State in the regular season finale, tried to come back, played against Indiana to start last season, but didn't feel like he was ready to go and he'd make a positive impact on the team. So they decided to rehab for the rest of the year and redshirt. Came back this year, played in their first game against Indiana, but felt like he just could not get back to where he wanted to. His body and mind were not on the same page. And so yesterday, ODU lost their star linebacker, Jason Henderson, to retirement. So that is a massive void that Old Dominion has to recover from moving forward into the rest of their schedule.
And that's tough, man. Like you never want to see somebody retire young.
No,
from a sport, but it also is a sad reminder of the brutality of football, right? It's a tough sport on your body.
Big time. Richmond, on the other hand, they got a 14-10 win against Wofford. We'll be chatting with head coach Russ Huesman on Wednesday's show as Kyle Wickersham helped push the offense to a couple of scores to bookend the game, a touchdown in the first quarter and a game-winning touchdown in the fourth quarter to pull out the 14-10 win, give Richmond its first win of 2025. And for William and Mary on the other side against Maine, they pulled out a narrow 1-point win. So FCS schools in the Commonwealth get some wins. One team at the FBS level gets a win, and a solid stuff otherwise, with UVA kind of showing signs of growth. And South Florida, the team we all want to talk about, a true college football playoff contender now.
No, I mean they've had two really impressive wins. I could see an angle how they could have won versus Boise State, all things considered.
Yeah, but
I wasn't that shocked, but I was shocked that they beat Florida.
Yeah,
like I was shocked that they handled Florida the way that they did. And it wasn't one of those games where they got up and Florida just laid an egg. Like Florida fought back and they took their best punch and gave it right back. And I was like, wow. Did not see that coming, especially at the the typical level we're used to seeing South Florida football. I was not anticipating that, but they should be putting Group of 5 teams on notice.
I think they're now, betting odds wise, if you're into that type of thing, they are the favorite to be the college football playoff rep out of the Group of 6. Just an insane start to the season. And by the way, they've got another couple of opportunities to get some big wins, because you know who they've got on Saturday?
They've got Florida, which is
Miami.
Yeah, Miami. Sorry, yeah. Miami.
Well, they got Florida.
Yeah, they got Florida good. But I was saying, they got Miami. Hey, and you know what's crazy too about Florida? Their schedule is crazy. I just wanted to point this out. I don't think people realize Florida still has to play LSU, Miami, Texas, Texas A&M, Georgia, Tennessee, Ole Miss, and Florida State. Like that is a gauntlet.
Who did that to them?
I don't know, but losing to South Florida was supposed to be the break that you got, the rest that you got, because your next 3 weeks on the road to LSU, on the road to Miami, at home versus Texas.
Here's the question I have for you. Is Billy Napier the coach the next time they're playing in the Swamp?
Billy Napier should have been fired like 2 years ago. He's awful. He has shown at every step of the way he is not a good coach at this level. I'm not going to say he's not a good coach because I saw what he did at was it Louisiana? Yeah. I saw what he did.
Almost
there.
called him Louisiana Lafayette. They no
did.
longer go by
yes,
that.
I know. I stopped myself. But I remember what he did there. He had a great recruiting class there. He got the most out those kids. Great. But there are certain people, they just can't coach at a certain level. I think we're seeing that with DeBoer as well. Like he just can't coach at the SEC level. Napier can't coach at the SEC level, man. Like this is a really, really bad loss. And he's had some embarrassing moments.
Yeah.
But this was really bad.
Yeah, 18-16.
Told me Lagway was a Heisman candidate. Where?
Yeah, Tommy Lagway was a Heisman candidate against USF, which, I mean, maybe USF is, I mean, they are good because now they have won 2 pretty impressive games. But if you're DJ Lagway, if you're a Heisman hopeful, you should not throw the ball 33 times, only complete 23 of them for 222 yards, a touchdown and interception, and you should not rush for just 9 yards on 6 attempts.
The other thing that like you can take into consideration too, if you're like a Memphis or UTSA, you now have a top 25 team on your schedule.
Yep. If you're a team that was like you were a fringe top of the American Athletic Conference team,
yeah,
the American now, because USF has had these 2 important wins, 2 ranked wins to start the year. Technically, it puts the American Athletic, or I guess they're just called the American now, puts the American in a spot where they are by far the favorites to make it as the Group of 5 rep in the college football playoff.
But seriously, man, Miami, Texas A&M,
yeah, who did that? Florida.
Yeah, even the game against Kentucky is on the road.
Look, I'm going to be honest. Florida, you got to do an internal investigation at this point. Who is putting together your schedules and why do they hate you? Why do they hate you?
That's rough.
Of the next 4 games you play, they're all against ranked opponents, 3 against top 10 opponents, and 3 of the upcoming 4 games you have are on the road. Good luck. Good luck, Florida. You could be staring down at a 1-5 start right now. Good luck. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll step aside. We'll be back with overreactions from week 1 of the NFL season. You still got a couple of minutes. Drop in your overreactions. We've got a couple already, and they are some good ones. 804-327-0888. We'll be right back with Overreaction Monday.
Soccer in RVA is winding down with just a few games left this season. Make your plans now to catch the next Richmond Kickers home game Wednesday, September 17th versus Portland Hearts of Pipe. Tune in to hear ESPN Richmond live as we count down to this nationally televised game on RVA Community Night at City Stadium. Then it's on to a Saturday night showdown September 20th versus Charlotte Independence. Reserve your tickets today at richmondkickers.com. And don't forget, at Kickers games, dogs are always welcome.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything? Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
Straight Talk presents The Math of More. Here's how it works.
When you say yes to more with Straight Talk, you're left with more for all the other good stuff. So getting an unlimited plan starting at just $25 a month equals more savings for your family's weekend adventures. And with a network covered by Verizon, you can share more from wherever you go. It's simple math, really. More equals more with Straight Talk. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. The $25 plan requires a compatible unlocked device and a new line of service. Additional terms apply.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RVA's best kept secret, Queenfield Golf Club, just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at queenfieldgolf.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
This is Ben Ingram with the Atlanta Braves. When I'm on the road to D.C. and Baltimore, I always tune in to 106.1 ESPN Richmond for all my sports news. They've got you covered.
All right.
Overreaction Monday.
That was good. All right, number one.
Ashton Genty's a bust.
I'm only laughing because it was all over my timeline and everything.
Because this man finished with 19 carries for 38 yards. I was promised the next Bo Jackson. And I got 2 yards a carry. His longest run of the day was 9 yards.
I was told he could fly.
I was told this
underwater
man could teleport. What are we doing? Ashton Genty's a massive bust.
Yeah.
That I was truly, when I looked at because look, this game wasn't on. It didn't come on Red Zone all that often.
No, it didn't.
And so I was looking over box scores last night and I was like, ooh, can't wait to see what Ashton Genty did. Oh, Geno Smith, 362? That offense must have been, huh? What? Oh, it was the Geno Smith show. I still have high expectations.
Looking at the box score, I feel like Mike Vrabel said, if we're going to lose, Geno's got to beat us.
And you know what happened?
Geno beat
him.
Yeah. So look, you got what you wanted.
And I love Pete Carroll. Never change Pete. He's going to keep hitting his head against a wall until something breaks. It's either going to be his head or the wall. 19 carries for Ashton Genty. Look, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again.
That's on Chip, man. That's definitely a Chip thing. Chip is stubborn.
It's good luck. I really like the Raiders. I'm not trying to hurt Chris's feelings or anything. But with Chip's stubbornness and Pete Carroll's love of running the football, there are going to be some head scratching games this year for Las Vegas. But a very promising first game. Geno Smith is amazing, 362 yards. Ashton, I know he's not a bust, but that was definitely. I looked at the box score and I was like, huh? Uh-oh. What was your overreaction?
The Jets fixed Justin Fields.
Hey, look, according to my fantasy football team, he sure did 30 fantasy points yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, he had a very efficient game. We need more of a sample size, man, because we've seen moments of Justin Fields looking good, and then we've seen the next game. Has he put together 2 good games?
In his career, I don't think he ever has put together 2 very good games.
Yeah.
He may have, not off the top of my head can I think of 2 good games, but he's probably had 2 fine games back to back. But he's never put together another. He's never backed up week one's performance with another week one performance.
Yeah, so that was my overreaction, which is probably similar to what you were going to say about Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, cool. Kobe's probably having a great morning over there at Classic Rock.
He is. Classic Rock is very hype. Kobe's a Steeler fan, and
Reggie's a Bills fan, right?
Yeah, Bills and Josh Allen.
Look, I'm not going over to that side of the studio.
Luna's even decked out in Bills gear today.
I'm not going over to that side of the studio. I can't handle it. I can't handle the Steelers love over there. I've been bold. Look, I'm not bailing on my Steelers hate too yet. But yeah, Justin Fields also ran for 2 touchdowns. He was doing everything. He was looking like the Justin Fields that maybe we expected coming out. Maybe it's taken him a couple of years, and maybe Aaron Glenn has unlocked that. All right. You ready for this next one?
Yes.
Colts are winning the AFC South.
Darn, I had a Colts one too.
Look, we also got a texter, a Colts one. Our texter, Chris, said Daniel Jones MVP. Overreaction, baby.
That is an overreaction there. MVP.
AFC South winners, the Colts, here they come. I was shocked that they looked that good. And I know it's the Miami Dolphins. I know the Dolphins aren't going to be world beaters this year. But Daniel Jones threw for 272 yards, had a touchdown, no interceptions. That's notable. No turnovers in general from Daniel Jones. That's notable. And Jonathan Taylor goes for 71 yards, averaging 4 yards a carry. They got some good production out of someone named DJ Giddens, who I had never heard of. Ulysses Bentley the fourth. He didn't do that well, but just a couple funny names that the Colts have on this box score. The Colts overall, though, their offense looked like they were humming. Pittman got going, and their defense looked really dang good, holding the Dolphins to no points through the first 3 quarters. I think they've got something figured out there in Indy. Shane Steichen, whew.
Yeah, shout out to my guy Shane Steichen for finally having everything fall into place for him. I will have to go back and look and see how much RPO they use, because remember I said that I felt like system wise, if they're running a lot of RPO, Daniel Jones is pretty efficient in RPO.
Yeah.
So I have to go back and look. But the big takeaway for me from that game was that the Colts have some energy, man. Like they have really good flow to their offense and defense, right? I think defensively, they're lacking in talent in some areas, whereas offensively, like Tyler Warren, Pittman, Taylor, like we expect them to produce.
Yeah.
But they were just like to like smother the Dolphins the way that they did defensively says a lot. I mean, the Dolphins on their worst day could put up at least 20.
And they couldn't even put up like that's a garbage time point with their 8. Like they did not do anything. And they got 2 picks. Latu had a fantastic pick as a defensive end. He dropped into coverage, completely fooled Tua.
It fooled me because I was like, wait a minute, isn't he a edge rusher?
Edge rusher fakes the rush, then drops back into a shallow zone, and Tua doesn't even pick him up and throws it right to him, and he makes a fantastic catch. Cam Bynum with a pick 6 to help the Colts scoring effort. I mean, Zach Wilson even got a couple of passes in there, but that was when the game was already out of hand. So
Lions are in trouble without Ben Johnson. That is one of my overreactions.
That's me clapping.
Nah.
That's a good one. Yes.
Give it a couple games.
That's
man.
your overreaction, though. You got to stand by. I'm right there with you, man. I will stand right there, toe to toe with you. Shoulder to shoulder. That's what I meant. Goff is 3-17-1 all time when Sean McVay or Ben Johnson aren't calling plays for him.
Also, RIP to my guy, Sewell. Man, Michael Parsons did to him what I saw Myles Garrett do to Trent Williams. It's when the writing's on the wall, man, when they pick you up like a baby, basically, and put you in the quarterback's lap.
Yeah.
Mike is God tier strong, too, for his size. So it's no shame in it. I don't know if you recall, there was one play early in his career where he took like a guard, I think, and just like removed him from the premises with his one arm. Like it was like, oh, you're in my way. Excuse me. Off the camera you go. So it's nothing wrong with having him overpower you and kind of put you in the backfield. But man, Sewell is like the best left tackle in the game. My man's supposed to be playing with the messed up back and everything. Didn't look that hurt to me.
Played 45% of the team snaps. Maybe that's what he looked hurt from him. But 1 sack, chased down Jared Goff from behind.
Somebody said sack. it was like those National Geographic videos where you see the lion chasing the gazelle.
Except in this case, it was the lion being chased.
Poor Jared Goff, man.
Jared Goff's got to figure something out because
he's a robot. He's always going to do what he's programmed
3-17-1 without Ben Johnson or Sean McVay. And those 3 wins came in 2021 with the Detroit Lions when you know who was his quarterback coach?
Who?
Ben Johnson.
Oh, okay.
So he has never won a game without Ben Johnson or Sean McVay. Good luck, Detroit. Good luck. And the defense looked bad too. Like the loss of Aaron Glenn, I may have kind of undersold that.
I don't think Aaron Glenn was that great of a defense.
I know you don't, but that defense looked out of sorts yesterday. Like the Lions looked. A friend of mine's a Lions fan, and we were texting about the game, and he was like, "The Lions suck again. We stink again."
Give it time. I mean, they were winning 12, 13 plus games. Like if you
but you ain't making the playoffs winning 9 or 10 in the NFC.
Not this year. You're right.
Like, cool. If you lose, I'm worried about Detroit. I bet them preseason though to not make the playoffs.
To not make the playoffs?
Yeah, it was plus 150.
Overreaction. You looking good?
Overreaction. I'm looking great. Overreaction 3 for me. The Ravens coaching is going to cost Lamar Jackson the opportunity to be regarded as an all-time top 5 quarterback. Did you follow that one? I know that was a long one.
No, I think that's fair, but also historically speaking, I don't think we should overlook his role in some of these things either.
Nope, he's blameless, honestly. He's perfect. He's never done anything wrong.
It's not his fault that they punted on 4th and 2. That kind of stuff for sure. It's not his fault that Mark Andrews dropped that pass last year.
Yes.
That part, yeah. But there've been some hiccups along the way where it's like he fumbled or he did something crazy. They did, like, as a team, they do some crazy stuff. Didn't Kyle Hamilton pick the pass and then pitch it back last night too?
Something stupid.
Like, what are y'all doing?
They do a lot of stupid stuff. But last night it was just on display. Like, Sean McDermott has kind of been a more conservative coach in his time, but last night it looked like he's come around on the idea of analytics because they smartly started going for 2 quite early, which when you're down 15, you want to go for 2 first. Because if you get it, or if you don't get it, regardless of what happens, you then know how you need to play the rest of the game. Whereas if you get the touchdown, kick the field goal, then you're playing where you have to go for 2 the next time, and you've put yourself into a corner where you need to get the 2-point conversion. If you go for 2 on the first score when you're down 15, then you know how to approach your final couple of drives. Changes the entire calculus of how to play. And the Bills were on that early and smartly went for 2. And it was just it was an interesting dynamic between the 2 coaches, right? You had one that knew how to play the analytics game and the other one who decided to punt for it on 4th and 2 with 93 seconds left and take the ball out of arguably the MVP of the league.
I'm going to steal from the texter here because I like this one. Bengals defense leads the way to a 17-16 win over the Browns in the opener. And that is overreaction. The Bengals have a pretty good defense with Hendrickson back. And I know he's joking. It's clearly tongue-in-cheek, but it is hilarious that ultimately you got to give the defense credit for this win against the Browns.
My other overreaction was that the Bengals offense still stinks in the first month of the season, regardless if they play in preseason or not.
It never fails. I bet the Browns just because I did it strictly off of history. I was like, there's been at least 4 seasons worth of data that tells you that they're just not good when they start out.
But maybe the defensive coordinator change maybe opened some things up. 2 interceptions for the Bengals defense, trying to play for those turnovers more so than just trying to play good defense like they did with Lou Anarumo. Joe Flacco might also just be turnover prone.
Did you see the hit on?
Yes, Joe Burrow.
Yeah, on Burrow, right?
Myles Garrett comes across the release.
Yeah, they did a stunt. Yeah. Did you see the hit on Garrett Wilson?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll look at it during the break because I was going to ask you, who would you have rather been, Garrett Wilson or Joe Burrow? You got to see how Garrett Wilson got popped.
All right, I got to look at that one because my gut tells me Garrett Wilson because I don't want Myles Garrett coming through an open hole full speed. And
that was terrifying,
burying me.
And shout out to Joe Burrow for hanging in there.
Yeah. I don't even know if he completed the pass.
I don't know either. I would have screamed like a girl and dipped.
Burrow was struggling in that game, and Bruce brought it up earlier when he called in hour number 1. He did go 14 of 23 for 113 yards with a touchdown. But a win's a win. He gutted it out with the Bengals, but who would have thought? You're right. Who would have thought that we'd be talking here week 1? The Bengals defense is why they won a football game. That's mind-boggling.
Yeah, and Hendrickson got a sack and everything, man. It is a crazy concept to pay your edge rushers or at least get them on the field to play. Man, just wish other teams thought that way.
You know who did not record a stat defensively?
Who?
Shamar Stewart.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's on par with his time at Texas A&M, basically.
He may have recorded a stat if he was there for off-season training camp for the start of it. But that was another thing the Bengals messed up.
I was going to say, I can't fight him for that one because the apparent hiccup in him signing that contract was kind of ridiculous. And they're the only team that does that. So I kind of stand with them on that one.
I do too. Just the Bengals doing more Bengals things, man. Yep. Just crazy stuff. All right. Any other overreactions you got?
Kyle Shanahan's a good coach.
You want to know something crazy? I bookmarked this stat because I thought you would enjoy it. First, I got to find this stat.
But the kicking Kyle is literally never come back to win a game when he's down at the half.
No, and I don't like he did that this year.
Yeah.
Most blown double-digit leads in the fourth quarter over the last 10 seasons.
John Harbaugh
is number 1 with 7. Kyle Shanahan is second with 6.
Those are my guys.
Yeah, those are your guys.
My favorite coaches, man.
There you go.
A lot of pain.
Man. Also, we didn't even really talk about this one, but on Friday night, the Chargers picked up a 27-21 win over the Kansas City Chiefs, where looky here.
I know, man. No, I actually
Justin Herbert.
So this whole segment came from the idea that I was gonna trash the Chiefs offense, but I was like, it was Friday. It'll be bad next week. I'll wait.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes did throw for 258, but they had no rushing attack. Isaiah Pacheco, just 5 carries, 25 yards. Hollywood Brown was where they ran their entire offense through, which that doesn't spark joy in me. Juju Smith-Schuster was second on the team with 5 receptions.
Which is bad.
That's not what – he wasn't even on the team last year, I don't think. I forgot Juju Smith-Schuster was even in the league. Kareem Hunt had 2 catches as well. Overall, 7 touches. The Chiefs – I don't know, Bill. I don't know.
Nah, they'll find a way because at the end of the day, they still just win football games. But
yeah,
it is concerning to me that we no longer view them as an explosive offense. Just the element of the big play coming from somebody just isn't there anymore.
And the real kicker to it all is they may have lost Xavier Worthy for an extended amount of time after he took a hit from his own player, Travis Kelce.
The conspiracy is that because Taylor shouted him out. I saw that.
Travis was like, nope, took him out. It's over. But the plus, I mean, we say all of that where the Chiefs look rough, their offense lets them down, but they still only lost this game by 6 points, and that is the beauty of Kansas City. They did not play a great game whatsoever, and we're still in it to win it near the end. Herbert throws for 318, 3 tutties. Like to see a little bit more out of Omarion Hampton, 15 carries, 48 yards. Quentin Johnson, shockingly, 5 catches on 7 targets.
Made catches. It's crazy.
Yeah, Quentin Johnson, known for being the league leader in drops, actually has a really good outing with 2 touchdowns as well. Keenan Allen, 7 catches, a touchdown, and that looks to be like a very good free agent signing late in the offseason. So I like what I saw out of the Chargers moving forward, and they make me feel good about the AFC West prediction that I gave because a win over the Chiefs kind of feels like 2 wins in terms of the standings. All right, let's get our final break in here. We'll step aside, be back to wrap up this Monday edition of Fitz the Bill on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Richmond Kickers soccer games in the fall is a RVA tradition. Just a few games left at City Stadium this season. Reserve your tickets online at richmondkickers.com.
Have you thought of enrolling in a City of Richmond Promise Pay payment plan but haven't done so yet? Promise Pay is the convenient and flexible payment option for past due gas and water balances. But changes are coming soon, beginning September 1st. All new payment plans will be eligible for a 12-month repayment term versus the current 36 months. So if you're in need of a longer time to repay, you're encouraged to enroll before September 1st. Don't delay, enroll today. To learn more, visit our website at www.rva.gov/public-utilities.
Straight Talk presents The math of more. Here's how it works. When you say yes to more with Straight Talk, you're left with more for all the other good stuff. So getting an unlimited plan starting at just $25 a month equals more savings for your family's weekend adventures. And with a network covered by Verizon, you can share more from wherever you go. It's simple math, really. More equals more with Straight Talk. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. The $25 plan requires a compatible unlocked device and a new line of service. Additional terms apply.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
This is Brennan Wells, the owner of Pro Weld Fabricators. We are a Richmond-based company. We are here for all of your welding projects.
Bradley Hicks here with Pro Weld Fabricators. We bring all the right tools to your doorstep. Emergency repair? No problem. We're available 24/7. For all commercial and residential needs, you need Pro Weld Fabricators. Learn more about Pro Weld Fabricators and check out some of our awesome projects at pro-weldfabricators.com.
Pro Weld Fabricators is your number one source for any of your commercial welding needs.
Border to Border with Matt Josephs on 106.1 ESPN. Your daily 3 to 4 p.m. pit stop for unfiltered sports takes, statewide debate, and no-holds-barred analysis. Richmond's Game, Matt's Lane. Don't miss it.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill as we wrap up this Monday edition. Tonight, the Vikings, they go to Chicago, the Windy City, Soldier Field, to face off against the Bears. 8:15 kick on ABC, ESPN, as the Bears and the Caleb Williams era begins for the second time, this time under Ben Johnson. Vikings, the J.J. McCarthy era is here. McCarthyism, some are calling it.
Womp, womp,
all right, that was a bad joke. J.J. McCarthy probably doesn't want to be associated with McCarthyism. I get it. The Red Scare, whatever. That was just a history joke. It's fine. I'm trying not to be too rude about this game. I'm very excited to see how both of these teams play out because the Vikings made quite an interesting decision this offseason, right? You decide to not give Sam Darnold that contract that he got from the Seahawks, which is expensive, but it's laid out in a way where Seattle can get out of it essentially after this year. And Minnesota decided, we're going to let you walk, and we're going to put all of our faith into J.J. McCarthy. And this is a Vikings team that's coming off of a 14-win season. They were right on the cusp of being the NFC North champs and potentially going on a deep playoff run, but instead they lose the final game and things kind of come off the rails late. And they decide to put all their eggs in the J.J. McCarthy basket, who's a rookie, a young rookie, coming off of a pretty big knee injury. So a lot at stake tonight for the Vikings to see how they look during this J.J. McCarthy era. And then on the Chicago side, Caleb Williams had a training camp to forget. Every clip it seemed like that was coming out from training camp was worse than the next. Him and Ben Johnson weren't fully meshing, but now it's the regular season when things start mattering a lot, and it feels like we're diving into Caleb Williams year 2 as a rookie again. Like it just feels like a repeat of his rookie year where there's some expectations around Chicago, and they've got to come out cooking tonight against Minnesota. That's what I'm looking out for. Minnesota's a 1.5-point favorite, so real small favorite against Chicago tonight as the Vikings look to maybe get back to the top of the NFC North where they were for the majority of last season.
So there's a lot of confidence in Chicago from the betting public. I'm not sure. It's not smart to necessarily fade like sharps, and it looks like there's more confident money being placed on the Bears than the Vikings. But I will say from a scheme standpoint, for the Vikings, it's probably to their advantage. They know Ben Johnson well. They know Caleb Williams well. And they can probably kind of put the two together and kind of figure out what the game plan is going to be. I think
Brian Flores is one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL. He's going to make
Flores is defense is built on confusion, and you have to either know ahead of time or process really quick in real time, because the fire zone concepts that he runs are pretty confusing. And I don't know if Caleb Williams is there yet. I'm sure Ben and him will have a great game plan, but just the lack of confidence in his ability to execute the simple things in the system bothered me the majority of the preseason training camp and all that hoopla.
Yeah.
Like the comments from the coach just bothered me. So we'll see. Maybe he was just doing that to motivate him. Maybe it was it's just a smoke screen. But we'll know probably half after the first drive. Never go off the first drive.
Yeah.
Wait to the second drive.
Shoot, sometimes don't even give it like the first quarter. If like, that script sometimes is real long.
God. My friend was texting me about the script the Commanders ran, and I was like, "There's nothing wrong with that." He's like, "We almost do a pick." I'm like, "Yeah, but now you see they're in man to man."
Yeah.
And then of course, in the next drive, the second drive, they started like literally dissecting them. I was like, "Yeah," because figured out what they were doing.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's done that way. But either way,
never read too much into a first offensive drive or a first defensive drive, because both teams are doing things to figure out what the other team is doing.
Niners are great on the first drive.
Yeah, you know what happened yesterday?
After that.
They scored a touchdown on their first drive yesterday, then did not score again until the fourth quarter when they took the lead.
Kicking Kyle took over, man. Can we just script the whole game? Walsh used to do it.
The JMU feels like the same way too. They're always really good on script, and then afterwards, it's like, what happened? Where'd that team go that was here to start the game?
JMU is the definition of doing too much. I'm for real. Like, you just got too many weapons.
First play of the game on Friday night was a wide receiver pass, right? Barnett gets it, throws it out to the side. Isaiah Alston catches it, and then he has a wide open tight end down the field. He misses the pass. But just you'd love to have that back. You need to hit that if you want to beat an ACC squad. But all right, they're opening up the playbook. This is going to be a fun game. Did not call another trick play all game. What? Huh? We're just calling that one and then not doing it again for the rest of the time. Look, Ryan Clark might be mad because I never played the game, but I feel like I can have opinions on it.
Which is absolutely ridiculous. I fight that wholeheartedly. There are plenty of great minds and insight coming from people who haven't played at the professional level of any sport.
Sometimes the best minds around the sport are the ones that did not play the game.
I'm pretty sure Mike Leach started like he was in law or something like that.
Yeah.
Then he got into coaching.
I have talked to so many football players in my life where they don't know what's happening. Like they don't know offensive philosophy because they're so focused on defense and like what their position does. And you're just like, I know more about the sport than
Mike Leach did not play football at the college level, as an ankle injury he sustained in high school prevented him from playing. After earning a law degree, he transitioned into coaching, and he's literally one of the founding fathers. Well, not the founding father, but one of the innovators
of the
air raid.
Yeah. And
which is
and
a
Ryan
really
Clark,
good system.
And Ryan Clark would think he doesn't have the authority to speak about football.
I know. That was just so silly on so many levels.
I know what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
But it just came out completely wrong.
No, it came out exactly how he was trying to say it.
I'm going to try and give him the benefit of the doubt, be a little nice, but that was a tough one.
And don't apologize after you disrespect me.
Just especially to Peter Schrager. Okay, that's besides the point. We got a great show coming up this entire week. Tomorrow, Lake Lewis, our Raisin Hail Commanders insider, will be joining in hour number 1 live here in studio. So you do not want to miss it. We'll recap what happened in the Commanders-Giants game and look ahead to the rest of the season after that Week 1 win. Kind of an interesting feeling. It was a double-digit Week 1 win. Felt like it was commanding, no pun intended, from start to finish. And yet Commanders fans feel a little uneasy about it all. We'll dive into it all. Lake Lewis, our Raisin Hail Commanders insider, tomorrow in hour number 1 here live in studio. Dietrich Wise will be a special guest on Raisin Hail later this week. So be sure to tune into that Thursday
from 6 to 7. Promo code HTTC 25 for 25% off of Papa John's online order.
Heck yes. We've also got Talking Dukes coming up on Wednesday from 6 until 7. And then Wednesday, we've got our Talk of the Town segment. I cannot wait to catch up. We're trying to figure out who deserves the Talk of the Town this week. I've got an eye on a player or two. If you have any thoughts, text us 804-327-0888. Keep it locked right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports. because we've got Clinton and friends from 10 until noon, then Rich Eisen from 12 until 3, then 3 till 4. It's Border to Border with Matt Josephs. Bob Black joins them for the Mashup Hour from 4 until 5, and then Bob Black takes you home with the Sports Huddle from 5 until 6. Keep it locked right here. Fitz the Bill. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, 106.1.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho.
This isn't fantasy football. It's real competition. Welcome to the NFL Survivor Tournament. You versus the field. $100 to enter. $100,000 in total prizes. $50K to the winner. Start each week with a $100K bankroll. Pick games, win returns. Top 80% survive. Bottom 20%, you're out. Bankroll resets weekly. No carryover. 20 weeks, $100K. Will you take home the cash? Sign up, lock in, and let's see if you've got the guts to survive.